prepare for 99 insane mobs that Minecraft needs to add. Beware the Underminer. These ghostly mobs are the trapped souls of players long past. Though they prefer to mind their own unfinished business, if you attack one, they'll instantly swing their pickaxes right back at you. And you'll definitely want to stay on their good side, because if you toss over a specific ore block, they'll come out of hiding and actually help you find more of the stuff. Hey, thanks, pal. But now, lunging out of the sands is the Deathworm. And the bigger they are, the harder they bite, with the giant ones even blasting sand and leaving craters in their wake. But here's a pro tip. Drop a block of TNT near one, and dinner is served. The end definitely needs more mob variety, and these ghostly beings called specters fit right in. Passive in nature, these ghastly phantoms can only be damaged by potion effects. You wouldn't want to fight these guys though, because if you use a soul heart to lure them in close, you can actually attach a lead to the specter, and then, woohoo! They make for a fantastic way to travel between end islands. But be careful, because you can detach from the specter, and if you're not careful, it's easy to fall into the void! Ah! Oh, I meant to do that. Guess I'll just have to visit the friendly and mischievous pixies. You can find them near their tiny villages. All these little sprites won't attack you. Turn your back, and they'll snatch an item straight from your inventory. I know your sick game. Huh? Hey! Give that back! If they grab one, then you'll have to chase them down and give them a quick smack to get it back. Though, if you throw a cake at one, they'll actually become your best friend and follow you around, providing positive status effects depending on their color, like speed or a jump boost. I can fly! I can fly! I can fly! What is this strange theater? I seem to have discovered a new structure. This mystical venue seems to be guarded by a menacing crew of illagers, including pillagers and vindicators, all standing between you and the main attraction. Make it past them, and you'll find the Conjurer himself on stage, ready to dazzle you with his magical powers. But don't be fooled by his tricks. He'll throw cards and magical bouncy balls at you, then become invisible and then teleport away. And he'll even pull killer rabbits out of his hat. Defeating him won't be easy, but if you manage to outwit this magical maestro, you'll be rewarded with his hat, 2 emeralds, and the real treasure hidden within his stage room. Ooh, shiny. Elephants in the savannah. These majestic creatures spawn in herds, each led by a mighty leader elephant. But be warned, these gentle giants will fight back if provoked. They'll gore you with their tusks, and the leaders can even charge at you. If you attack one, the whole herd is gonna come to its defense. Oh, I made a big mistake! Oh, but guess what? These big guys are terrified of bees. Maybe they're allergic? Huh, who knew something so small could scare something so big? In hot biomes, wandering traders can now spawn on elephants as well. Now that's traveling in style. Want to ride an elephant yourself? Just feed them acacia blossoms to tame them, and your tamed elephant is actually gonna fight with you too if you're attacked. If you team up with a leader elephant though, you can feed it wheat to make them do their charge attack. You can also decorate your elephant with carpets or place chests on them for storage. Now we're ready for an adventure. Next is, wait, is that a buff squid coming right for me? Ah! The Gladius has learned to adapt outside of the water. It loves to show off its strength by fighting everything it sees. Fortunately though, its squishy body makes it easy to push away. Then it'll turn into its smaller Gladilad form. Just don't forget about that classic ink spray technique, passed down from its squid ancestors. Ah! My eyes! Meet the Mungus, a passive little mushroom creature. Wait, why are you looking at me like that? Whoa, what's happening? With a mushroom on its head, it can fire some beams to turn regular mushrooms into large ones. Careful though, if you find one outside of its habitat and kill it, the sack on its back will explode and transform the land around it. And more mushrooms. Yay. Looting desert temples just got a whole lot harder. Why, you might ask? Ancient mummies now guard the temple, and they're not happy to give up their loot. These mummies will attack any player who sets foot inside the temple, but they refuse to leave themselves. It seems like these structures were once their homes. If you manage to kill a mummy, you better loot it quick, because these guys have a tendency to reanimate themselves pretty quickly, so you might have some friends waiting for you on the way out. Speaking of, just like axolotls now have a new friend. This is the ladybug that's exclusive to the Lush Caves. Ladybugs are a neutral mob that are endlessly hostile towards undead mobs and spiders. You can actually feed them spider eyes to heal them and then receive their healing goo. A little gross, but you can throw it at undead mobs to damage them or even craft it into a healing suit. Whoa, it is delicious. And you're gonna wanna make sure you heal them too, because if they're killed by an undead mob, then they transform into the Zadybug. It's a bit slower, but it's still a force to be reckoned with. Then, as the sun sets, make sure to keep an eye out for these adorable critters. Jerboas snooze during the day, and then hop around when the moon's out. Look at those cute little hops. And guess what? These little guys have a soft spot for seeds. They'll even beg and follow you around if you've got some. Who can resist those tiny eyes? And if you feed a Jerboa some seeds, they've got a special surprise for you. The fleet-footed effect will make the player faster as long as they're jumping. And these guys can be bred with maggots. The babies are even more adorable than the adults. Less cute, though, are these vampiric villagers. When a villager is killed by a witch, they become cursed and transform. In order to take down this foe, you have to use a wooden sword. Be careful, though, as the vampiric villager will drain your blood to regain its own health. Thankfully, these guys are restricted to the nighttime and caves, as they'll burn in the sunlight. Somebody forgot their sunscreen. Now, before the foe dies, they'll usually turn into a bat to try and escape. But if you kill them, they have a chance to drop quartz, as well as a chance to drop a map to an abandoned woodland mansion. If you choose to follow the map to the mansion, be prepared, because deep within its walls lurks something far more sinister. Prepare to face the Vampire Lord. This new boss mob isn't the welcoming type. In fact, he despises visitors. He'll attack on sight, launching magical projectiles your way. And trust me, they pack a punch. Not only do they deal hefty damage, but they can also inflict additional potion effects. But if you can muster the courage and skill to defeat him, the real adventure begins. Whew, that was close. Now, time for the treasure hunt. Remember, vampires are sneaky. They love hiding their treasures in the most unexpected places. Neighboring these mansions are the Tasmanian devils that like to make their homes in these forest biomes. While they love a good nap, be warned, if you provoke one, they won't hesitate to fight back in a pack. Ow! 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 Note to self, don't provoke the wildlife! What is truly awesome about these guys, though, is when you give them a bone or rotten flesh. Feeding a Tasmanian devil a bone will result in the little guy chewing it into bone meal for you. Now, if you feed them some rotten flesh, you get to watch them howl. As their eyes glow red, they'll scare off any nearby hostile mobs. Now, this is a friend worth having around. But then, ahoy, mateys! The drowned captain is the terror of shipwrecks and the leader of his own pirate crew. This salty sea zombie loves calling on zombie pirates and skeletons to join the fray. Yar! But you're no match for me, you scurvy dog! Hey, wait, what are you doing? Ow! Not only was that incredibly rude, but he took all the cool loot with him. No pirate hat for me. Think wardens are the only mob to be worried about in the deep dark? Well, think again, as skulk spiders roam outside of ancient cities. Ugh, that's unsettling. And these aren't your ordinary spiders. Skulk spiders come in different sizes. Though the small ones may look less threatening, their poisonous bites pack a punch. Ow! And they roam in packs of two, making them tough to fight off in numbers. Evacuate-legged fiends! But the real terror is the large skulk spider. It can shoot a poisonous sonic boom that inflicts damage over time, and these big guys have 50 hearts of health, making them difficult to take down. Fighting against them is ill-advised, and it's best to just sneak into the ancient city, where it's safer. Oh, it's not safer! It's not safer! Wait, do you hear that? Sounds like a villager, right? Well, wrong! Meet the Cuckoo, a bizarre blend of chicken and elephant bird and villager. It uses those familiar sounds to lure us in. Clever, isn't it? But don't be fooled. This creature's got some tricks up its feathery sleeves. It attacks with sharp pecks and launches eggs that hatch into even more aggressive little cuckoos. And when things get tough for the cuckoo, it tries to make a grand escape by flying away. But bless its heart, it's a bit too hefty to stay airborne for long. Gravity 1, Cuckoo 0. If you manage to best this feathery foe, it leaves behind quite the prize of chicken and eggs. I guess it really just was an oversized bird. Now hidden within caves near the surface, a unique creature awaits discovery. Behold, the majestic Gekatoa lizard. Now they might look a bit intimidating with their scaly appearance, but trust me, they're big softies at heart, not a hostile bone in their body, or any other type of bone. Now here's the best part, you can tame and ride them. Who needs a horse when you've got one of these bad boys? Once you tame 2 of these lizards, you can also breed them with melons, pumpkins, or even hay blocks. Like horses, the babies will possess unique stats from their parents, and you can deck out your Gekatoa in armor and even equip them with chests. Yeah, this beats a horse any day. Though traversing the jungles is always a pain, and these guys don't make it any easier. The acidic archvine is known to hang from trees in jungles and the nether. See those tendrils? They're not just for show. Venture beneath it, and you're in for a surprise. Gross! If you find yourself in this sticky situation, you've got to act fast. Swipe at them with your sword, and you might just be able to survive. Thankfully, more friendly than the acidic archvine are these leafcutter ants. These ants make their homes in naturally occurring anthills. Each anthill is a kingdom ruled by a single leafcutter ant queen. She stays tucked away inside though, unless of course her home gets disrupted. It's rude to keep your guests waiting. Ow! Sorry! These diligent workers venture out, seeking the freshest leaves. And once they grab a leaf, they'll haul the green prize back home, feeding their colony. If these hard workers gather enough leaves, a new worker might just join the ranks. It's all about teamwork in the ant world. And did I mention? These little guys defy gravity. They can scale the sides of blocks like it's a walk in the park. If you wanted to, you could even start your own ant colony. Just take a leaf cutter ant pupa, place it on 2 stacks of dirt or grass, and a new colony appears. Do you ever feel like you're being watched while traveling through a forest at night? Well, there is a creature that just might be. The hide behind. This fearsome critter has been blamed for the eerie disappearances of travelers. It's always there, lurking, stalking its prey in the silence. But here's the thing, if you ever feel like you're being watched, look for the eyes. Those glowing orbs can betray its presence. Thankfully, the hide behind despises bright lights and will try to avoid them at all costs. But don't let your guard down. If this creature gets close enough, it's game over! Ah! No! 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 The Nether just got a whole lot more dangerous. Mutant striders are roaming all around and are definitely not peaceful like their unmutated counterparts. These terrifying creatures will catch you at lightning speed in Soul Sand valleys and swallow you whole. You'd be hard-pressed to get away from this creature's jaws. However, the one thing these guys like more than players is striders. Killing a strider will let you get strider boogers. Ugh, gross. Though if you feed enough of these to a mutant strider, then you're traveling in style. They'll even create obsidian paths over lava. Oh, that buzzing noise can only mean one thing. Meet the Warped Mosco, a buffed up mosquito with a terrible temperament. This ripped behemoth will stop at nothing to defeat the player if it enters his territory. Warped Moscows are incredibly aggressive and boast a range of deadly attacks. First, well, there's the punch. Simple, but it packs a wallop. Then there's the slam attack. When it lifts you off the ground, this foe will drain your blood, healing itself in the process. Don't think running will do you any good either, as the Warped Mosco has a deadly ranged attack. Your only chance for survival is to defeat him. And this is definitely worth the reward, because it drops materials which can then be crafted into a powerful ranged weapon. Whew. Okay, I think it's time for a lunch break. Wait, what's that noise? Ah! Ugh, gross, gross, gross! Oh, where are they all coming from? No! My apples! Ugh, cockroaches spawn in caves and will eat anything they can find. And they only have one weakness: maracas. Alright, now I can make my escape. Though something far harder to get away from is the sea serpent. Found primarily in ocean and deep ocean biomes, they're not the friendliest of neighbors. If you ever get too close, they'll either take a massive bite out of you, or, if on land, jump out to crush you. I gotta get out of here. Ow! Whoa! As you can see, they have quite the dramatic entrance when they spot a boat or someone near the shore. A rocky roller? These guys are the real bullies of Dripstone Caves. Don't let their low health fool you. Their armor is thick and they pack a punch. Whoa! Even causing earthquakes. Whoa! If you can come out on top though, you can use its rocky shell to craft a chest plate that lets you roll around just like them. But while it's also great at reducing fall damage, don't wear it in water. Unless you fancy a deep dive. Whoa! So thank goodness for this hippocampus. They're much friendlier than rocky rollers, and if you feed them enough, they'll even be your loyal steed of the seas. And just like horses, they can even equip armor and chests. No boat can match its speed, and I can even breathe underwater while riding it. Woo! But best of all, naming it Rainbow makes it change color. Beautiful. Just like this hummingbird. These tiny dynamos are a common sight in jungles, meadows, sunflower plains, and right here in the flower forest. They can be spotted in 3 different variants. And let me tell you, when it comes to pollinating flowers, they give bees a run for their honey. These guys pollinate flowers and then are off like the wind. But if you're looking to keep them around a bit longer, just try setting up a hummingbird feeder. Fill it with water and sugar, and then these little guys will just stick around it, ensuring that your flowers get the extra pollination boost they need. Just remember to keep that feeder topped off, and you'll have a hummingbird haven in no time. Now, the flutter is a cute little flower mob that can be found in lush caves. These gentle souls have a unique way of flying using their flower-like wings. If you want to befriend one, just feed it some flowers. However, they have a particular taste, so you've got to feed them a bunch of different flowers each time. And trust me, they're loyal. Now, if you're ever in a pinch, they'll have your back, shooting homing pollen balls at any threat. And if your adorable new friend is ever hurt, a simple flower will patch them right up. The best thing though is to give them a little pot, and then they'll wear it like armor. It's so cute, right? Hold up, is that a slimy sea sheep? Ooh, well, someone's got beef with pillagers. The Morso is a neutral mob that loves to fertilize the ground with its slime. They shoot out poison balls, and if their health gets too low, they'll start to float away from danger. Ooh, maybe he needs some help. Ah! A murmur? Ugh. Don't let its human-like appearance fool you. They've got this crazy long neck that they use to snap at their prey. So you gotta aim for the body, not the head. Oh, what's this? Red wool, an elastic tendon, and this creepy kimono? Oh, feels weird, but it's got some perks. It increases my reach by 2 whole blocks, and makes undead mobs chill around me. Except other murmurs, of course. Frogs just got some friends in the mangrove swamps. Meet the mud skipper. These semi-aquatic creatures can survive on both land and water, and these adorable little guys can be captured in a bucket for easy transportation. The best part is, they're passive towards players, and you can tame them for an awesome defensive companion. Mud skippers shoot balls of mud at their enemies, inflicting slowness on their targets, and they also move away from enemies to avoid their attacks. They are extremely vulnerable to ranged attacks though. Skip! No! Have you ever wanted your Totem of Undying to come to life? Well, these flying wonders can be found in dark forest biomes. Just like villagers, these airborne totems have trades up their sleeves. But these ones are all about health and regeneration. Using emeralds, you're able to purchase a variety of potions and even golden apples. The strangest of trades being another Totem of Undying. It makes me wonder why the one in my hand doesn't flutter about. These flying totems are tough cookies. Having evolved from the regular totem item seems to have made them indestructible, though they do have one weakness, a deep-seated fear of pillagers. I'll tell you one thing that isn't afraid of pillagers though, the giant ape. These colossal primates are a force to be reckoned with, especially if you're undead or, unfortunately, a player like me. These mobs can be found in dark forests, jungles, and taiga biomes. They're known for their powerful punches that can send you soaring through the air. And if that wasn't enough, they'll even hurl stones with deadly precision at anyone outside their melee range. But if you're brave enough to take one down, they'll drop a bounty of assorted fruits. It's a risky reward for such a powerful creature. Oh, if you hear that sound in the desert, then you're gonna want to watch your step. The rattlesnake is a defensive mob that only attacks if you get too close. It's their way of saying, back off, buddy. So, what's the worst he could do? Ow! Ah! That bite sure packs a venomous punch, and if it's untreated with a bucket of milk, it can quickly lead to death. And don't even think about messing with one of their babies. They're feisty and won't stop at just one bite. Always respect their space! Didn't think creepers could get any more annoying? Wrong! Meet the Phantom Creeper. This tricky mob is able to go invisible for short durations of time, making it difficult to fight back against. You also might just want to run, as when hit, the Phantom Creeper instantly splits into two identical versions of itself. Talk about double trouble. Thankfully, it can only pull this stunt once. However, in a group, the numbers can get insane. My advice is to run! I'm always looking for new defensive options for my base, because iron golems can be a little lackluster. The Scarecrow fits my farmhouse theme perfectly. He's assembled with 2 dark oak logs, a hay block, and is topped off with a carved pumpkin. This neutral protector, much like an iron golem, will fiercely defend its territory from any pesky monsters. But be cautious with your new pal around fire. One touch from any fire source will set your companion ablaze and turn him into a seared spirit. This blazing entity becomes hostile, even to players, and its fiery attacks can set you ablaze. But while it's immune to fire, water and rain are its Achilles heel. So if you see one of these guys, maybe just keep your distance, or have a bucket of water handy. Though it won't help you against the Froststalker, an aggressive mob that roams the Ice Spikes biomes. They have a unique hunting style, encircling their prey before making a swift leap, claws at the ready. And trust me, you don't want to encounter a pack of them, especially when they're hungry. If you fight back against a Froststalker, they'll start shaking the spikes off their back in a form of defense. Now, speaking of those spikes, these give them the ability to freeze water beneath them. However, warm biomes are their kryptonite, causing their icy spikes to melt and leaving them vulnerable. But nature has its ways. A quick dip in water, and they're back to their spiky selves. Then we can look at the natural prey of the Froststalker, the Tuskling. They'll flee from any Froststalkers in the area, although they have no problem attacking players. Though, if you have some brown mushrooms to feed them, baby Tusklings are known to look for brown mushrooms and will even dig them up. These guys do look familiar though. Where have I seen them before? Oh, yeah, leading a Tusklin into the Nether will cause them to turn into Hoglins, similar to bringing a Hoglin into the overworld, but in reverse. Whoa, the Dire Bat, oversized bats that are found in dark caves. Let me add some light for a better look and... Oh, yikes! Note to self, they don't like light. These nocturnal creatures are usually neutral, but if you shine a light on them or disturb their upside down slumber, you're in for a world of trouble. And trust me, you don't want to be the one on the receiving end of their attack. It'll leave you stumbling around blind. Upon death, these guys will drop their fangs. These can be crafted into special arrows that inflict blindness on their targets. Now, if only I could find my bow. Hey, give that back! They can grab items in an attempt to steal them, but a quick hit and they'll drop their loot. While looking for dire bats, make sure to keep an eye out for these curious little fellas. Redstone mites have a chance to spawn when mining redstone ore. They hate players, but love redstone. So do your best to keep any redstone circuits away from them. These little guys cannot get enough of the stuff and love to eat it. You pesky rats! Whoa, that's a troll! And not your regular internet kind. Watch out for their attacks. A downward smash or a side swipe from that club can send you flying. Whoa! Trolls really dislike players and villagers. They'll attack on sight with no hesitation. There are 3 types of these brutes: forest, mountain, and frost trolls. If any blocks are in their way, they won't hesitate to smash them to bits in order to get to their next target. If you have an encounter, here's a tip. Don't bother with arrows. Their thick hide just shrugs them off. You'll have to fight back with your melee weapons, but that won't be easy. The best way to deal with them is to try and expose them to sunlight. This will instantly turn them to stone. And petrified trolls are rendered useless and very easy to destroy.